Hi guys, Ozhound here, and this is episode 16 of my server play series 2 using all the mods mod pack. We have had a little bit of time between episodes, a couple of days for me, so I've done bits and pieces while we've in between those times. I've expanded the base a little bit. I have added another CPU. I have added a couple more machines down here to help me to process some things. The quintupling system is running alright. I've had to actually install Optifine because my game basically became pretty much unplayable when I sort of looked towards this chunk that all these machines are in. I've gone to one of the guys on the server here has been playing with the dimensions, and he created a dimension which was basically got dimensional shards in it, and so I've been infusing a lot of the RF tool machines. I upgraded to the advanced power cells on here, upgraded to the vibrant capacitor banks here, so now I've got 50 million RF storage there and about 30.5 million here. But my solar panel up the top there is struggling to keep up with the demands. We've had a couple of upgrades to applied energistics as well. This looks weird because Optifine and AE don't play nicely together. So you'll notice that the cables are all a bit buggered as well. But the good news is the new version of AE actually accepts power from other mods, which is good, via the energy acceptor. So I've gotten rid of my 16 vibrating chambers here, vibration chambers. And something I didn't show you in the last video is that I've actually got this entity detector from random things set up. So within a radius XYZ of 2 blocks, it will detect items on the ground and then send a redstone signal. So see how they've turned on? When I pick it up, it turns off. So that's activating this part here, which is pretty cool. And I've just kept this here because that actually lights up as well when that's on, so it shows you whether it's on or not. And that coincides with creating the pure crystal types, because they'll drop in there, then the machine will turn on. Not that I really have a need for it now with the energy acceptor being plugged in, but I was struggling to keep up with the power demands of AE with the 5 or the 4 crystal growth accelerators running. These cool looking balustrades, and over here we've got windows. Show you upstairs, that looks pretty cool up there as well. I used a different coloured frame, black frame, and corner windows. So that's from the mod called Architectural Plus, or Architecture Craft, and it's similar to the molasses doors where you drop a material in to be created in or be made into any of these things. So the windows you saw upstairs and around just around here, that's made with these items here. So yeah, and that'll just create the relevant items depending on how much it'll take one block to make. So that one block makes 4 window frames, makes 2 of the corners, and 2 of the mullions. Roofing, I haven't played with that yet, but that looks pretty interesting. Rounded, I've used a few of these downstairs, just down here in the corners there. classical, so you got columns and cornices. That's an example of the classical architecture. Windows, I just saw them. Arches, you can create some pretty cool arches with these. Railings, that's what all of the balustrading was. And there's just different types of stairs and stuff like that you can create. All in all, pretty cool mod. The only downside is that things break with one hit. So just using my open hand, that broke really easily, and it doesn't matter what material it's made out of, it just breaks in one hit. So if you're walking along and you accidentally click your mouse button, then you could quite potentially break stuff. So that should probably be improved, but yeah, so that's where we're at with that. What I want to do today is to get my tier 3 panel up and running for environmental tech. And in order to do that, we need a new type of material which isn't attainable in the world, and that's called mica. The only way to get that is through this void resource miner. So I've got all of the items together. I'm going to go straight with the tier 2. I'm not going to bother with the tier 1. So we'll just get down to the control room. And the only thing I've got left to do is the lens. I just had to cook up some more clear glass to make that. And I want to make a white lens because mica itself, which is... it's actually... basic chunk loader, work in progress. Mica is has a 5% chance, or 4.59% chance of getting mined if you use a white lens as opposed to a clear lens, which has got less than 1% chance. So we want to get our lens just bone meal. It's nice and easy. So my checklist is 32 tier 2 structure blocks, 16 machine bases, 4 modifiers. Where are my modifiers? Now you can use speed and accuracy on the miners, so I'm just... what if I can just get some speed? Don't really need speed because all I'm going to do is walk away and come back again, but modifiers might actually... the accuracy modifiers might be a little bit... so I need mica to make the actual modifiers anyway, so that's sort of out of the question. Alright, well let's just go with the basic standard modifiers. Put some of this stuff away. 3 laser cores, and obviously the controller. Got the lens, so I need my stick, my assembler. Now I've cleared an area out down here. The thing is with these, because they are void miners, void ore miners or void resource miners, they have to have a line of sight to the actual bedrock, which is down there. Now I'm not sure how this is going to build. So I might just get some blocks, put them up a bit. Yeah, that has to go up one more. And the assembler, actually, if you hold down sneak or shift and just right click, it acts the same way as it does. I hope I didn't drop anything down there. Acts the same way as any wrench does. No, so it looks like that was alright. I really need to get flight at some stage too. Alright, let's give this a go. Multi-block assembly complete. Alright, so yeah, so that was cool. So now we've got our laser. We need to hook up some power. So these tier 2 energy buffer, 1,000,000 RF, 2,000 RF per duration, which is 150 ticks, which is around about 8 seconds. So that would be, or what, 300 RF per tick, I guess. So I think that those tier 2 conduits from Ender.io should be sufficient. The enhanced, so I don't need to use the Ender ones. Alright, cool, it's building up. Get my Ender chest, and we'll just pump the stuff straight into the system. Or I think we'll just use a crate actually. I don't know if it'll put it into the crate on the side there. Oh yeah, there we go. Unless it. Alright, so we'll let that go and we'll come back in a sec to see if we've got any mica. Okay guys, we're back. And we have mica 4 so far. As you can see, there's all sorts of other random stuff appearing as it goes through and just pulls resources from the void, most of it being the different colours of hardened clay. So your tier 1 is not too bad to set up, and you can get endstone from that. So you can grow your ender lilies quite fast on those things. So now we've got that, what I want to do is to kill my tier 2 solar panel, because I need to cannibalize the controller from that, because they're quite expensive to make. So let's just start doing that. And while the void miner was running, I made, I think, the rest of the items for the tier 3 panel. So hopefully there won't be too much work to do. But what we will need to do is to upgrade those conduits as well, because they're only capable of transferring 5,000 RF per tick. We need about 20,000, because that's what this one produces. So your tier 3 needs your stabilized ender pearls, which are 4 pearls around a iron block. It needs the 2 mica. It needs your 2 tier 2 solar panels and a solar cell. So we should be able to, yep, cool, we've got that set up. We've got 2 mica left. Let's just put that away. This one away. Got this one. We've got our alabaster structure blocks. I wonder if it can use a combination. Probably not. What does it say in the manual? It just says structure block tier 3 or above. I guess if you don't care what it looks like, it might be alright. So this unit takes up, it's 9 by 9 by 2. So we want to come out 4 at least. Conduits. I can upgrade these later. 49 solar cells. Well, I've only got 45, so that'll make a difference, and 8 modifier cores. So I did actually program my applied energistic system to make the solar cells. If I could spell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. Alright, let's see if that works. Cool. No, it's not going to use the hang on. They're in the way. No, I miscalculated that. Yeah, it's not going to use the basalts. And it only seems to accept one type. So I'm going to go make some more tier 3 alabasters, and then I will come back. Okay, got the rest of my tier 3 structure blocks, and now we are producing power again. So these items here, these scaffoldings, that's just there for decoration, it's not required. But what I do want to do is to replace these enhanced energies for the ender conduits. Should probably need a fair bit of that. Cool. Easy. Oh god, I need a spell. Alright, so really cool thing about these things, I don't know if I've told you guys before, but you just right click with your item you want to upgrade with, and it is just replaces it. It's very cool. Now with our increased 20,000, with our increased power generation, we're not going to have any problems as far as generating power goes. But we want to get into a little mod called Draconic Evolution, and the higher tier, the end game items in that do require a lot of power. So this is now all full, but what my plan is to create the mechanism reactor, which creates between 100,000 and 200,000, if not more, RF per tick. And I also want to create the Draconic Evolution power storage modules, the sphere. And that looks like, we've got the book in here, Draconic, yep. I'm not sure if they show you a picture of it in the actual book, but it's very cool. Yeah, it looks very cool, and it holds a lot of power. So you can see here, tier 1's 45 million, not too bad. Tier 2's 273, and then all the way up to 2.14 trillion RF. And tier 8 is, as the author says here, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's infinite, but it's as close as you're going to get. So, but as you go up in tiers, it becomes more complex and more expensive, obviously, to make. So we've got our tier 3 solar panel running. I'll show you my little mob farm that I've started making down here. So this is my entrance down to my mining area down that way. I cleared out a whole big area underneath there. I've set up a blaze spawner with a tier 5 shard from soul shards the old way. That's a draconic evolution mob grinder, which is pretty cheap to make. The draconic core, and then you've just got your standard vanilla items around that, except for the draconium ingot. I actually want to set up a Killer Joe here to pick up the experience orbs, but with a tier 5, as you can see, it just spawns like crazy. What I've set up here as well is vacuum chests, so it's picking up the drops. And I've filtered just these 4 drops to come into my AE network. The capacity card, each capacity card increases basically it's an extender for the filter. So without the capacity card, you've only got the center block. With the capacity card, you've got 5, and with another one, you've got all 9. On this one here, I'm filtering blacklisting those same 4 items, and the rest of it is going into a matter condenser, which is producing matter balls extremely slowly. But I ran that for about a good 10 minutes when I first set it up, and I've already got near on 1,000 blaze rods, which is crazy. So I still have the experience orbs lying around in there. Not too happy about that, but you know. So as you can see, it's bound to blaze, tier 5. Tier 5 is the only one that allows you to control it with a redstone. The different tiers change that. Alright, so summary of the mod. Let's go over it, so I'm not sort of explaining stuff to you half-assed. So there's a couple of elements to this mod. There is Vile Dust and Corrupted Essence. Vile Dust is created from smelting soul sand. Corrupted Essence is made in a crafting table with obsidian, redstone and lapis lazuli. And that combined creates these corrupted ingots. Now, the corrupted ingots make your soul cage, which is just iron bars, corrupted ingots in the soul cage. That's where your soul stones or your soul shards actually get plugged into. So the idea is that you create your soul shards, which I'll show you how to do. I think it's quartz, obsidian and glowstone. So we go quartz. I need more quartz. So quartz. One, two. I'll get one more just in case. Then we need our obsidian. And then we need glowstone for the middle block. Hopefully I get this right. Then we need a diamond. To hopefully complete the process. Yes, I got it right. Just right clicking that diamond on the glowstone yields a unbound soul shard. Now the next mob that I kill, that will become bound. So it'll become a tier 1 a tier 0 bound soul shard to whatever mob I kill. As you go through and you kill that same mob, you can see each tier goes up by kill number, and each tier dictates whether how fast they spawn, if they're going to spawn with the players near or not, and if it's redstone controllable. So your tier 5 soul shard is, you saw, I think it's 5 mobs a tick that spawn on 5 mobs a second, and it's controllable by redstone, but you need to kill 1,024 mobs before you get to that. But wait, there's an easier way. What you can do, and I'll show you with this fancy I wonder if this is still here, but I came across this anti-spider. Yeah. So these are like a white spider. Some pretty cool loot. Abyssal craft. Alright, so now our soul shard is bound to an anti-spider, and we've got 1 kill for it. But the beauty of this mod, the way to increase these is you can right click with the soul shard on the spawner that matches the bound mob. When you do that, it gives you 200 kills. So now that is a tier 2, because I've got more than 128 kills. And my next one will be, will still probably be, I'll be go up to a tier 3. So in order to get up to your tier 5 fully kitted out soul shard, you need to be killing or absorbing 5 spawners plus a couple of mobs. As I said, that's the only time I've ever seen that that particular mob type before, let alone in a spawner. But yeah, so that's, once you've got your soul shard ready to go, it's just a case of actually plugging it into, right clicking on the soul cage, and that plugs it in there and it starts the process. And because this is in a tier 5, what it's going to do is to automatically start, so it's going to automatically activate. So shift right click to take out your soul shard, and when it's tier 5 it actually glows like that. It means it can't go any further. And right click on this one, and then that should start to spawn because it's no longer affected by redstone, the redstone signal. And you can see it's active by the way the pig's face, I guess you could say, is lit up like that. And because it's tier 2, it's quite slow. Okay guys, so that is spawning, not very fast at all. But I've just had a look in the config file. There's a config file for this, which allows you to, well, first and foremost, if you want clarification on what tier does what, you know, you go from your tier 0, which is your maximum kills of 63. So when you get to 64, it steps up into tier 1. You've got a check player flag. So what that means is that if the player is within a certain distance, the spawner will activate, otherwise it'll remain inactive. So if you have the chunk loaded, it's still not going to work. Check light, which is your standard mob sort of spawning feature. So if it's too well lit, the mobs won't actually spawn. And then you've got check redstone, which is, it checks for a redstone signal to either activate or deactivate it. So in the default configuration, which is what we use in the pack, your redstone signal isn't applicable until you get to tier 5, and everything else sort of ramps up from there. So that's a brief rundown of soul shards the old ways. This is my preferred method of creating mob spawners these days, because you don't have to stuff around with the Ender.io stuff that I've used in the past. There is a way to do it in RF tools as well, which I haven't really played with. But yeah, I think we'll wrap the episode up there, guys. That is our tier 3 solar panel setup, and showing you the different areas of the base that I've worked on between episodes. So thanks for watching. Ozhound finishing up, and we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.